Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, NFL Cowboys News, where we dive deep into everything NFL. If you're a Cowboys fan, an Eagles fan, or just love the game of football, you're going to want to stick around for today's breakdown. Today, we're talking about a very exciting rivalry and a very interesting statement made by none other than Dak Prescott himself. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott recently said that the Cowboys are very close to stacking up against the Philadelphia Eagles. What does this mean for Dallas' season? Are they really ready to challenge the reigning NFC East champs? Well, let's break it all down. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss any of our football content. Let's get into it. Now, if you've been following the NFC East for any amount of time, you already know that this is one of the most heated rivalries in the NFL. The Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles have been going at it for decades, and every game between these two teams is always filled with high stakes. Whether it's the 90s when Dallas dominated the division, or the more recent years where Phillies had the upper hand with their Super Bowl win in 2018, the rivalry is always intense. And let's be honest, for years the Eagles have been the team to beat in the NFC East. After all, the Cowboys haven't won the NFC East since 2018, while the Eagles have had a more stable run in recent years, making it to the playoffs and even winning the division last year. But this season? It feels different. Recently, Dak Prescott made a statement that's getting a lot of attention. He said that the Cowboys are very close to matching up against the Eagles. Now, that's a pretty bold statement, considering the Eagles have been one of the most consistent and successful teams in the NFC East. But let's take a closer look at what Dak means by close. Here's the thing, Prescott is known for being a leader, and he's not one to shy away from big expectations. He knows that for the Cowboys to be considered true contenders in the NFC, they have to not just show up but prove they can beat the Eagles, who have been the standard in the division. When Dak says very close, he's likely referencing the progress the Cowboys have made in the last couple of years under head coach Mike McCarthy, particularly when it comes to their defense, offense, and overall roster depth. Let's break this down a bit further. First, we have to acknowledge the major improvements the Cowboys have made in recent years. Dallas has become one of the most dangerous teams in the NFC, and it's all thanks to a mixture of great coaching, young talent, and veteran leadership. Dak Prescott is one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the league when healthy. He's got a great arm, leadership skills, and has consistently been able to rally the Cowboys when needed. His chemistry with wide receiver CeeDee Lamb has developed into one of the most potent QB/WR duos in the NFL, and with the emergence of Tony Pollard as the lead back, the Cowboys' offense is clicking on all cylinders. But the real shift has come on the defensive side of the ball. Enter Micah Parsons. This guy has quickly become one of the best defensive players in the league. His pass rushing ability and versatility allowed the Cowboys to run multiple schemes and really disrupt opposing offenses. Alongside Parsons, the Cowboys' defense as a whole has been getting better and better, which is a key reason why they can finally challenge a powerhouse like the Eagles. Now, let's talk about the team Dak is referring to, the Philadelphia Eagles. Last year, the Eagles were absolutely dominant. Jalen Hurts emerged as one of the top quarterbacks in the league, and his combination of running and passing made the Eagles' offense nearly impossible to stop. He had a breakout year, leading the Eagles to the Super Bowl, where they nearly took down the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's not just Hurts. The Eagles have one of the most dynamic wide receiving core in the NFL. A.J. Brown is a physical freak, and Devonta Smith complements him perfectly with his precise route running and big play ability. Not to mention, the Eagles' offensive line is one of the best in the league, creating ample time for Hurts to make decisions. But here's where it gets interesting. The Eagles also have a stacked defense. With guys like Fletcher Cox, Darius Slay, and the always dangerous pass rusher Haason Reddick, the Eagles' defense can go toe-to-toe with any offense in the league. This balance of offense and defense is what makes them the reigning NFC East champions and a perennial contender in the NFC. So, when you look at the Cowboys and Eagles head-to-head, it's clear both teams have their strengths. The 2023 season showed some interesting trends when it comes to matchups between the two. In their 2 regular season games last year, the Eagles took the first one in a hard-fought contest, but the Cowboys weren't far behind. It was a close game, and Dak Prescott played well. The second meeting was much more dramatic, with the Cowboys' defense making a big statement. Despite the Cowboys not winning the division, these games proved that Dallas can hang with the Eagles when everything clicks. But let's not forget about the NFC East championship race. Philadelphia clinched the division again, but it wasn't a cakewalk. The Cowboys made it clear that they were right there with them in terms of talent, energy, and competitiveness. And that's what Dak is talking about when he says the Cowboys are very close. Now, if the Cowboys are truly going to close that gap and compete with the Eagles, here are a few key things they need to focus on in the 2024 season. First up, Dak Prescott's consistency. We all know that when Prescott is on, he can lead the Cowboys to victories over some of the best teams in the league. But his play must be mistake-free, especially in the high-stakes games against the Eagles. The running game is another crucial element. Tony Pollard had a breakout season last year, but the Cowboys will need to establish a more balanced offensive attack. That means mixing up the run and pass plays effectively to keep the Eagles' defense on its heels. Defensively, Dallas has the tools to disrupt the Eagles. Micah Parsons needs to get pressure on Jalen Hurts and force him into uncomfortable situations. Hurts is a dynamic playmaker, but if Dallas can get pressure up the middle and on the edge, it'll limit his effectiveness. Lastly, special teams and turnovers could make or break these games. The Cowboys need to make the most of every opportunity, whether it's with a key punt return, a forced fumble, or a timely interception. The bottom line here is that Dak Prescott's comment about being very close to stacking up against the Eagles is a statement of confidence. The Cowboys have made major strides over the last few years, and this year could be the one where they finally surpass their NFC East rivals. It's all about execution. The talent is there, the coaching staff is in place, and the pieces are coming together. Dallas fans have been waiting for years for this moment. Could 2024 be the season where they finally reclaim the NFC East crown? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, it's going to be one heck of a ride to the top. Alright, guys, that's all we have for today. What do you think? Do you believe the Cowboys are truly very close to competing with the Eagles for the NFC East? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Who's going to take the crown in 2024, Dallas or Philly? If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.